Mr. Commissioner, although I find this your response quite rich and curious, the rules of engagement now do not permit me to go on a certain path with you. But if you're talking about collective cooperation of parties to give a certain positive signal, then the suggestion out there that the commission was not fair.
And you're saying that collating the results, continuing to collate the results, has become very, very risky without police protection. And so you can only collate the results with police protection. What has made the collation very, very risky without police protection?
A minority leader.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, my first question, I will read the Hansard of this House dated the 11th of June 2025, which Hansard contains a response to a question asked by Honorable Nana Asafo Aye on behalf of Honorable Daniel Nana Ado Kenneth, MP for Okere. Mr. Speaker, at column 83, quote, question, Mr. Speaker, I beg to ask the Minister for Interior the specific arrangement made by the Ministry to ensure the provision of adequate security for the collaboration and declaration for collation and declaration of parliamentary results of the Ablekuma North constituency. Now, the Minister of Interior, Al-Hajj Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka, responds as follows on column 83. Mr. Speaker, following the request by the Electoral Commission for the Ghana Police Service to provide security for the completion of the collation of Ablekuma North constituency parliamentary election results, National Election Security Task Force convened a stakeholder meeting with the Electoral Commission where it was agreed that the task force will meet both the NDC and the NPP before the proposed date for the completion of the collation. The answer continues at column 84. I continue to read. Mr. Speaker, during the meeting with the National Democratic Congress, the task force was informed that there is a pending suit at the Supreme Court bordering on the collation. The task force was subsequently served with a motion paper that had been filed at the Supreme Court objecting to the completion of the collation. Checks conducted by Election Task Force at the Registry of the Supreme Court by the Legal Directorate of Ghana Police Service confirmed the pending suit at the court. Unquote. Mr. Speaker, on the strength of this, I want to ask the Deputy Chair whether he has become aware that the Election Security Task Force, led by the police, is unable to provide security for the completion of collation of the outstanding 3 polling stations because of any court injunction, and if he's become aware whether they've been served with any court process in respect of that.
Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Chairman, we have not been served with any process. And as I said, the police has made us aware that they are getting the advice. So I know from next week we'll continue to engage them and we'll let them know maybe we want to do it on this particular day. Once they are ready to provide us the security, we'll just proceed. So again, from the side of the Electoral Commission, we are ready to conclude the process. Thank you.
Well, Chairman, I know that all these processes started before the 3rd of May. And prior to the 3rd of May, the general understanding was that when a process is filed in the Supreme Court or any superior court of adjudicature and it's seeking some injunctive reliefs, once the process is served, parties must restrain themselves or that the process operates impliedly as a stay. Now, we know that in Kowasefwa, which is some 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, the Supreme Court has been very unequivocal that nothing stops a constitutional body or a statutory body from undertaking a statutory or constitutional mandate unless expressly injuncted by a court. I'm just putting that across. Now, Mr. Deputy Commissioner, in your response to us, you made reference to Domiko Abenya and stated that Domiko Abenya also had similar challenges where parties, in this case, the candidate of the NDC and the candidate of MPP, both could not provide you with original pink sheets. You further went on to talk about the fact that both candidates could not also provide you with scanned copies of the pink sheet for you to validate. However, you were able to rely on some tally cards to conclude the results, and by the grace of God, our colleague on the other side was declared the MP-elect and eventually got sworn in by this House. May you explain what you mean by the tally cards in the absence of the scan pink sheet?
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, what the standard practice at the polling stations is that each of the candidates or the political parties, they have this card where their agents, they take inventory of the people who are coming to vote. When they finish, you're able to know the results for candidate A, candidate B. So all the parties, that has been the standard practice. So in Domiko Abenya, when we got to the point where we couldn't get the results, the original results, and there were no other avenues, we resorted to that. And indeed, it confirmed. So if my memory serves me right, when we were even declaring, when we were declaring the Domiko Abenya, one of the, I think the MPP candidate was not even there, but the commission went ahead to complete the process. So what we are doing now with reference to the Ablekuma North, we know we are well within the law. Administratively, anytime we have a challenge, we go around to see what we can do to get the results. And as I said previously, we should be very careful about the integrity of our process. If we are not very careful, we may end up getting people who go and disrupt the process because they know when they do that, we are going to have a rerun. And those are the things all of us must support to avoid. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, leader, please. We have a lot of it, so don't look at it. Look at me and go ahead.
Coming to this very important point, and the commissioner has managed to take the wind out of my very good sail. But it needs emphasis that although the candidate of the MPP Mr. Mike Okwe Jr. objected and protested. He lawfully exercised those rights without coming to your offices to obstruct, thereby you declaring for the other candidate, because I was indeed at the time, an authorized officer from our party to coordinate the process. We disagreed, and I said no, but you had relied on precedents to say that it is the only way, and we agreed. That said, I want to know from you, these 3 polling stations you mentioned, you also talked about the presiding officers who appended their signatures having to confirm. May I know from you whether these 3 polling station scan sheets have had their presiding officers confirming their signatures on the pink sheet?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner.
When it comes to the parliamentary elections, the one in charge is the returning officer. From the engagement we have with the returning officer, he tells us he's ready to complete the process. So if the returning officer tells us he's ready, then I believe that he should have what it takes to complete the process. Thank you.
Yes. This is question 4.
No problem. This is the 4th.
Yeah, this is the 4th.
No, that's okay. Mr. Deputy Commissioner, the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, a very respected senior member of this House, whose politics started way before this August House. And as a senior member, former leader, and now education minister, he's raised a very important constitutional issue, which matter has received the blessing of another senior member, Honorable Dominic Nitiwo, to the effect that as a constitutional body, you owe a sacred duty to the Constitution and to the people. All you've said today tells us one thing: you are ready. Now, is there any lesser price to pay? Is there any lesser price to pay than to discharge your duty and suffer any punishment for it? Because, Mr. Chairman, the Deputy Commissioner is saying that all they need is police protection. But in the fight for civil liberties and in the protection of rights and freedoms, people have suffered for it. I want to ask you, don't you think that you can take the moral high ground with all the confirmations done, like you did in the Domiko Abenya? Domiko Abenya, when you were declaring, there was no police. I was available. Domiko Abenya, there was no police. You, a party protested, but you proceeded. So don't you think that on the strength of what Mr. Idrisu and Mr. Nitiwo have advised, coupled with the very point I'm making, you as a commission can boldly proceed to conclude this, so that Ghanaians will see that the police has delayed you and you had proceeded to do your constitutional duty even at the peril of your life, don't you think that you would have to proceed on that path?
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I think the Commission has looked at several options, and the Commission came to the conclusion that we think it will be in the best interest of the Commission and the country to have all the parties on the same page for us to make progress. So we think that, and we coming here is an excellent opportunity for us, for the House, to ensure that all of us are on the same page, because we believe that we have come very far as a country, and this is something we should be able to agree in the interest of our country's democracy. Thank you.
I'll give the final question, yes.
Mr. Commissioner, although I find this your response quite rich and curious, the rules of engagement now do not permit me to go on a certain path with you. But if you're talking about collective cooperation of parties to give a certain positive signal, then the suggestion out there that the Commission was not fair in the matter of Michael Okwe Jr. of Domiko Abenya will suffice, because you are anchoring your reason. You are anchoring your reason on the grounds of fairness, that the Commission wants both parties to be available. But in the Domiko Abenya, in a similar way, one party protested and was not available, but you proceeded to declare. So don't you think that, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, I laid the foundation. Let me finish. Don't you think that the path you are choosing, that until all the parties are available, will amount to EC itself sidestepping its precedents in the Domiko Abenya situation, and that EC would be acting unfair to Mr. Michael Okwe, who protested and who objected and who disagreed, and EC insisted that, well, this is the right path, and you proceeded without him.
Deputy Commissioner, if you are minded, you can respond.
Mr. Chairman, Order 89(1) does not permit a supplementary question to introduce a new matter that was not contained in the original question. That is the rule. The leader must learn to play by the rules. He can't introduce Domiko Abenya into this matter. If he's minded, he should file his own question on Domiko Abenya, like I have done in respect of Ablekuma North. Then we interrogate it. But it cannot be suggesting that a wrong was done in the declaration of Domiko Abenya. It wasn't contained in the original question. The law does not permit him to do that.
Well. Honorable Deputy Commissioner, that's why I'm giving those. If you are mindful to respond, fine. Other than that, I'll ask the leader to file a separate question. Are you responding?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, please.
Okay,
yes,
let's.
I think what I want to say is that,
you've asked the question, please. You've asked the question. You let me respond.
Mr. Speaker, I'm concerned. Mr. Speaker, please. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable.
Mr. Speaker.
Please, you listen to me.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with respect, you didn't call the chief whip. I'm drawing your attention to a matter. You didn't call the chief whip, yet he came in to make a determination on a matter. I beg of you, Mr. Speaker, we all want to play it fair. We all want to play it fair. When a question is asked, you've asked him to answer. All right? You've asked him to answer. Let us play the rule fairly. The man, he referred to Domiko. Mr. Speaker,
have you finished?
He referred to Domiko Abenya in his answer. He copiously referred to Domiko Abenya, and that is the reason why I asked Domiko Abenya in the supplementary. Mr. Speaker, let's play fair.
So am I not playing fair? He just got up, spoke, yet I asked the Deputy Commissioner to respond to the question. It means he didn't hear me before speaking. So I've asked the Deputy Commissioner to go ahead and respond to you. So, Deputy Whip, please.
Speaker, With your leave, let me read order 89.1.
Honorable
Speaker,
member.
please, bear me out. Order 89.1 is to the effect that as soon as the question is answered, any member, beginning with the member who asks the question, may, without notice, ask a supplementary question for further clarification of any matter or fact on the answer, but a supplementary question shall not introduce a matter not included in the original question.
Honorable member.
So if you stand here and say that in his answer he introduced a matter, that is an answer. The rule says you cannot introduce a matter not included in the original question.
Honorable member.
So the leader should also learn to play by the rules.
I'm sitting here trying to be fair to every side. The commissioner, in responding to the question, made reference to Dome Kwabenya. So if somebody, honorable, please allow me, please. He made reference to Dome Kwabenya. So if somebody is also asking question and relating it to Dome Kwabenya, I think it is fair. That is why I'm asking him to respond. Honorable Deputy Commissioner, please respond to the question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think I made the point that the Commission would wish that both the MPP and the NDC are on board and we move. However, what is very, very important is that we need the police protection. Once we have the police protection, we proceed. So for that one is the most important thing to us. Then we do our work because per the law, we are mandated to do that. So once the police assure us that they are going to do their work, we are not so much interested in party A or party B. We just go ahead and do our work. But we would wish that all the parties are on the same page. Thank you.
Leader, please, we've come to you.
Thank you very much for coming to answer the questions. I have listened very carefully to you, and you're saying that collating the results, continuing to collate the results, has become very, very risky without police protection. And so you can only collate the results with police protection. What has made the collation very, very risky without police protection?
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Thank you. We've always done the collation with the police protection. So this is not a departure. That has been what we've been doing. But let me also say, in the High Court ruling which I cited, that same ruling also ordered the police to provide security to the Electoral Commission. So although the ruling was, yes, you go ahead and do your work, it also required the police to provide us with that protection. And all the collation centers, we have police protection. Thank you.
Very well.
Please, listen to my question and answer it. No, it's not about not liking an answer. It's not about not liking an answer. Throughout the session, I sat here quietly, I listened to everybody. The regulations, the Act, the Representation of People's Act, the Constitution. Is there anywhere in those provisions that say that you must have police present for you to collate results?
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. But we don't have it in our CIs specifically, but beyond that, we have the National Election Security Task Force. So all the security aspects, they handle it.
Yes.
What I'm saying is that you have judged yourself as a result of past incidents relating to your attempt to collate the results, including the burning of one of your offices, the destruction of the records that you have, which makes it difficult for you to collate, and now you are relying on third-party records for the collation. Now, the point I'm trying to get at is you have adjudged that it is risky for you to collate without police presence. And I'm asking, why is it risky? Because that is at the crux of the matter. Why has it become risky? Has it become risky because the two sides in the election, one side is disputing certain records, the other side is insisting on certain records. And because of the disagreement over these records, one side is threatening to disrupt the process if you proceed to collate, for which reason you need security. Is that what it is all about?
Yes, please. That's what is happening.
So, can you tell us exactly what it is that side is challenging?
Mr. Chairman, thank you. We not the two parties that contested in the parliamentary elections, the parliamentary election in Ablekuma North. When we finished the collation, when we started the collation on the 7th, we had, after almost 163 or something, all of them came that their pink sheets had been destroyed. When we were left with a little over almost 120 or so. So we decided to resort to other measures to be able to do that. And there was clear understanding until it got to the remaining 37 polling stations. And when it got to the remaining 37 polling stations, the 62, one of them brought carbon copies, which was accepted. The other party accepted, so there was no problem. Of the remaining 37, one of the parties brought that, and the other party started accepting it. And when it got to about 17 or so, remaining 17, then the other party said no, they will no longer accept it. So that was the point we started bringing in the presiding officers to come and authenticate whether indeed the signatures were their signatures and whether the figures written there were the figures they actually wrote. So that's why we got to that point. So we did 14. And out of it was left with 17 and we did 14. So we still have the 3 outstanding. Thank you.
Yes. So the source of insecurity is as a result of one party challenging one that 25 of the 59 copies were actually carbon copies and should not be added to the scanned copies.
No, there were 62, and they brought 25 carbon copies which were accepted. So it was left with 37. And the 37, the agents of both parties accepted almost about 20 of them. So the remaining ones were those we brought in the presiding officers to come and confirm.
At your June 12th meeting, you had your last meeting was June 12th with the parties.
Yes.
Was June 12th.
Yes, please.
The parties were present. At your June 12th meeting, one of the parties insisted that they were not accepting any of the results beyond the 25 carbon copies, that they were demanding that 37 polling stations should be rerun, whilst one party was also insisting that only 3 polling stations should be rerun, because that is the polling stations that they thought were not accepted. So there's still a dispute between the two parties. One party standing at 37 polling stations, the other standing at 3 polling stations. And one party is insisting that the presiding officers did not participate in some of the processes. So the issue is the fact that you don't have the original records. The two parties also say they've lost their records. In some instances, one party comes with some records and you decide that you are ruling that that record will be accepted. Sometimes the other party is protesting. Because don't forget that the whole process of the collation was covered by TV3. TV3 covered it live. And on TV3, we saw challenges to the acceptance of some of the scanned copies. And we also saw your staff overruling the challenges and insisting that they will accept those scanned results. So, yes, TV3 covered it. It was a public event, and TV3 covered it. The footages are there and can be produced. So clearly there is some disagreement about the evidence. You are making categorical statements that you have covered all except 3. But there are footages establishing that there is disagreement by one party regarding a number far in excess of the 3. 1, that being the case, can this House, as a parliament, invite the parties individually, the returning officers, the presiding officers, the agents, and the officers who we saw on the TV, in the footages, and try to establish the facts as you are alleging here? Can this House go beyond your allegations and invite the parties and ascertain the facts to decide if we should go ahead and force the police to go and then provide security for you to collate and declare the results?
I hope you got the question.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Chairman, I don't know if it's the function of Parliament to do that, but what I can say without any doubt is that all the processes have been very, very participatory. We have involved the agents of all the candidates in the process. And as I said, when they got to a point and one of the parties was disputing the scan copies, that's when we invited the presiding officers. So the presiding officers on national TV admitted and they endorsed the results. And I've made this point earlier. The Electoral Commission, we are not interested in the outcome of elections. We are only... No, let me make the point. We are interested in the processes leading to a very, very successful outcome. And we think that that is what we must fight for. So I made the point that we are beseeching the leadership of the House. We are beseeching the leadership of the House because our elections are the best. Our elections are the best. When you look at the Electoral Integrity Project, Ghana is ranked number 4 in the whole of Africa. And those who have seen the EU report on the 2024 election, they gave us almost 90%. In 2020, they gave us about 95%. So clearly, the Electoral Commission is doing its best. So we think that support us to be able to achieve our objective of becoming one of the best when it comes to the business. All the processes, there have been no bias. Everything has been very, very transparent. Thank you.
Yes, leader, your 4th question.
So the process has been participatory. You've tried to listen to all sides. You are left with 3 police stations by your account. By the account of one of the parties, they dispute 37 police stations. You need the protection of the police to carry on the rest of the exercise. You are not getting the protection of the police to carry on the rest of the exercise because by the police's own evaluation, there's a security threat. Publicly, they've said they have the capacity to deal with it. Then they say there is a legal matter, and on and on and on and on. This House, as a parliament, definitely has the capacity to go beyond you, where you have reached and you have challenges. This House, as parliament, can go beyond you and listen to all the parties and give directives. So the question yes, this House has the capacity. This House can direct the Minister of Interior. This House can direct the IGP. This House can direct the Minister for Defense. This House can direct the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. So the point I'm making is, before
but
this
you
House...
cannot direct the EC.
this House will not direct the EC. Okay. Before this House gives a directive, the House has to convince itself of the facts. And so far, this House has heard only from you. This House has not heard from the two political parties. So the question I'm asking, are you comfortable with this House setting up a committee to invite the parties, to hear from them, to confirm the facts, so that it can give the directives that you need?
Yes. 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 Deputy Commissioner, you may answer the question.
Mr. Chairman, as the Minister for Education indicated earlier, the Parliament represents the people of Ghana. And if the EC is an institution of Ghana, anytime we are having problems, we come to now the Committee on Independent Constitutional Bodies. So what the EC wants the Parliament to support is get the police to support us to complete the work. Thank you.
Honorable Leader, you may take your last question.
Yeah, this House is ready to support you. Initially, when the minority raised the issue, I assured the minority that I will go and find out exactly what happened. I went to the police.
Honorable members, let's give hearing to the Leader of the House.
Mr. Speaker, this House must at all times endeavor to take sides to enforce justice based on facts that we are not in doubt. Now, you are saying that when it became difficult, you invited the presiding officers so that they could confirm and authenticate their signatures on the scanned copies. I went to the police, and the police who were present indicated to me that on 2 or 3 or 4 occasions, some of the presiding officers actually raised questions about the authenticity of the signatures. I was there. I spoke to the police directly, and 2 or 3 or 4 of the presiding officers raised questions about the authenticity. But you went ahead and ruled and admitted those scanned pink sheets. Now, if you ask me to side with you, I can only do so when I hear from those presiding officers. And I also try and establish the authenticity of the scanned copies. So I'm simply asking, is it okay with you if this House takes steps to authenticate the things that you have said in this House today, based on which we can take a decision as a House?
Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Chairman, what at the Electoral Commission, what we strongly believe is that we don't think per the creation of the Electoral Commission, it will be appropriate for Parliament to be seen to be meddling in the affairs of the, especially regarding a constituency resource. What we believe is that we have a committee in Parliament that we report to, and we believe that that committee must support us to do the lawful things we are supposed to do. Mr. Chairman, I remember in one of the some of the presiding officers you indicated they raised certain objections, etc. I remember one of them, the person said, "Oh, as for the figures, everything is excellent," but I don't remember a ballot being rejected in that place. So you realize that the returning officer and the officials there, at times when you object to something, they have the power to continue with the process. And it's what we've been doing as a country. So we think that, again, the House must support us to get the police to provide the necessary security so that we can complete the process. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Honorable Deputy Chairman, is a 3 polling station, depending on how it will go, will it affect the results for the candidates?
Yes, please. The 3 polling stations will affect the out. No, we've not completed, so we still need the 3 polling stations to complete the exercise. Thank you.
I'm asking this question. I'm asking this question because at a certain point in time, you can go ahead to even declare results whilst other polling stations are still pending.
As we cannot declare now. Thank you.
Well. Honorable members, on behalf of the House, I would like to thank the Deputy Commissioner and his team